down. It happened. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, I'm waiting. You'll pardon me, okay? And so things that I'm noticing, and it'll kind of bring us. It bring about inheritance. If you don't mind, can you put a one in the box in the comment and let me know that you can hear me okay? And somebody please put a one in the comment box and let me know that you can hear me. This is like my fourth time trying to sign on. Hey, I thought about you today. When I get off, I gotta go pick up. Thank you. No problem. I was gonna ask you if you enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much. Hey, by the way, and I'm glad. Miss Henrietta celebrated a birthday the other day. If anybody hadn't had a chance to say anything, it'd be something like that. Hope you enjoyed and you had a great time. Well, family, let's get started. Let's just do, nothing lengthy because oiled in the car and I didn't mow the whole grass, the whole plus most lines. Yeah. Well, I'm great. It's so at um, and we don't live back. I really hallelujah. And talking about um, inheritance and all these different things about see they messing with stuff. The Africa is the land of promise, and I do believe that. I do believe that, and I never in a million years would have ever thought that the Father would have chose me or you to go to those places. Like back when I was growing up, to have for people to say they went to Africa, it was like they had said they went to the moon. Like now that I've these places, I believe, man, like going to like just people. Uh, oh, you remember promise and one group, remember when the soup came back and said they saw giant eyes went out and the other talked about to look in the land. They didn't pay those giants no mind. And then the other group, like the giant was like, I'm paraphrasing, but you get where I'm going. And so I believe that I went to spy out the land so I could come back. And of course, Africa is not one country, it's a huge continent with 50 something, 54, I want to say, countries inside of that continent. And so, nevertheless, no, I haven't been to all of them, but I've seen a total of five. There you go, Miss Henrietta, you too. Anybody has gone. And those that chose to stay, in my opinion, are paving the way for others to come. Now, let me can't say yeah, um, how did I heard that I guess they call it to, um, and there's 6 African presidents. Someone nations that are falling by the hand of some people where there's people of color. And so it's just to kind of let you see how there's a force out there that recognizes that they have to move and shift certain things out the way so that they can bring in what it is that they want to bring in the forefront. And so that tells me that there's thank you so much. Yeah, I just pray that the Father would strip away every unclean spirit, anything that's attaching itself to the internet or the Wi-Fi at this time. Father, we know who is the prince or the power of the air, but Father, we know who's over it all, who resides, who lives in heaven, who abides in heaven is you. And so, Father, I'm asking you to strip away, tear down, dismantle whatever is in the atmosphere that is trying to come against this broadcast. I'm asking you for clarity and a clear path, clear path. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father. All right. I'll try to do the best that I can do. You all put in the chat if it becomes too distorted. I'll go back and look at my replays and I see that they're literally editing, like cutting out important parts and slicing and mashing stuff together that I didn't say. So I try to repeat when I know that the connection is bad. Um, excuse me. So to leaders in those countries that are leading people of color says to me that there is like chessboard. Thank you. It's like a chessboard. They're like moving, how I don't know much about chess, but I'll say checkers. We know that in chess they was in checkers, it was like you would get these kings or queens or whatever they were. You'd have to move that back row out the way so that you could put your piece on top of that square so that you would have more control over the board. And so that's all I see that's going on right now is the moving out those things or those players that were away. The board, and we know people having free power movement board would remove these people out the way. It would tell me that they obviously stood for something, and that those entities felt like we need you out the way so we can crown ourselves in different areas and move around more freely and take more control over the board. So I had a couple of emails sent to me, and I also had a email that was sent to me about fires in Canada, like extreme fires. Now, I can remember just a year ago, there was a young lady that used to follow the scope. And I believe that when I pray for somebody and the Most High give me something to say, I mean, that person could take it with a grain of salt or not. But I clearly remember saying to her when she told me nothing would open up for her in Canada, no job, no nothing, with all of her skills. I said, well, maybe that's telling you to go home, back to her country. She got so enraged. She was like, you know what? I know the most of the I'm not going. And now, right in Cat Spirit, the none that I hear that to these fires. I met real reparations, the Jamaican servant when triumph. Give your people power to reign. All authority, you give it to your people. Let thy kingdom come. I will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Let your will be done. Let me know when I'm on. Let your will be done. Let your will most high be done. Let me know when I'm back on. I'm up. Good. His will be done. All right. So all of these things are posted. So I'm hearing about these fires in Canada. Um, Australia is infested with rats or mice. I think it's mice. Hey, it's like so many things going on. The fire in Mexico, a lot of little things going on all around. Thank you. And so we starting to see that the earth is definitely in a place of having labor pains, right? And so back what I was saying about so many people now talking about, Africa's the promised land, and I do believe that it is. I do believe it. And I believe some were sent to go and pave the way. And I believe others were sent to take a look and come back and share. But eventually, I'm believing, oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm believing that there will be an Exodus experience. And I've been talking about this early on this summer, past summer. Y'all remember I was talking about these things and the tribes and some stuff I had wrong. I was in error. I mean, people was telling me that the Dominicans and the Latinos were a part of the 12 tribes. And I'm not saying that, I mean, well, that 12 tribe chart wasn't correct. All right, now we know we have other, spillage within us. Nobody is really 100% not here on the American soils that I know of. Most people know that they grandma, master came in her chambers too. So, we all kind of mix with something, but for the most part, we know if they said you had a drop of black blood, hmm, they deemed you as black. So let's just get on past that. But I do believe that there's an exodus. I do believe that um, that the promised land is Africa. But I wanted to share some stuff before we go because I was thinking about the fact that they're always talking about wealth transference. Is that phrase in the Bible? Can somebody tell me anywhere does it say in the Bible that it says wealth transference? I mean, like that those two words together, wealth transference. Is that in the Bible? Or is that just what they talk about when they say that the wealth will be given? Or I want to know how it's worded. And I tried, but I couldn't get online. But um I don't know. In my mind, it just seemed like transfer means like it was somebody else's and it came to us. I mean, I know the concept of giving us the wealth, but does it say wealth transference? Like those two words? I was just wondering because I don't know that transfer. I know it means coming out of one hand to another, but I honestly, y'all, I'm to the place now that it's like they don't own nothing. And so you're not giving me nothing that belonged to you're not giving me anything that was yours and you giving me something. What is being given is called inheritance. There's a whole difference, in my opinion. Inheritance meant it belonged to you regardless. It's yours. Your name is on it. It's been yours. Even if somebody else was inhabiting that which belonged to you, which that would make you an heir. And so that is the part, and I'm gonna talk about that for a minute, but I'm gonna back that up in the word because I don't know, I don't hear too many people talk about it, and I bet you I can know why. But let me go over this real quick. I don't know what you all want to do, but the first scope or the first broadcast, I called it what are we gonna do now? Wealth from the wicked stored up. Exactly. Thank you, Miss Henrietta. And that makes wealth from the wicked stored up from the righteous. Okay, and I know that's where they got that wealth transference, but transference, in my opinion, I know what it means from one person to the next, but I just want to make it clear they never owned it. It was never theirs. Never was. And there's a group of people that it belonged to. And actually, it all belonged to the Most High. So I'll come back and I'll talk about that air thing, but I named the first broadcast Blessings, Woman of God. Thank you so much. How you doing? Good to see you. No problem. All right. So I will share with you on that in a minute. But when I asked you all earlier, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm asking for a reason because, as you mentioned earlier, Miss Henrietta, in your comment, you said the plagues are going to get worse, and they are. And so I'm not sure what Israel is expecting from this place. I don't understand it. Everybody was in such an uproar when what is the girl named Shatari? I think I got her name right. Couldn't run in the Olympics because of what she engaged in. Okay, and we know that that was smoking marijuana. Let's be grown here. Yeah, and everybody was so upset about that. And so my thing is this, I mean, she's already exhibiting the fact that she's a very talented young woman, regardless. Okay, we know what she did. We get that. I get that part. But I guess I'm trying to understand why is everybody upset here? Like in my like man, why we can't see the handwriting on the wall? They are making it clear that we don't want you here. We don't want you breathing air. We don't want you. So I'm just trying to understand, why are we still trying to fit in when it's so clear? You said we are to stand still and watch God's glory. I believe that. I believe that. But he did. I mean, the Bible tells us that there's nothing that has gone on up underneath the sun that hasn't already been done. And we see things coming back around. He said it'll be just like in the days of Noah. Anytime he got ready to end the age, he took his people up out. And I have not seen where he hadn't. And that's from Moses, from Lot, from Noah, and now here we are in what other people call this new dispensation or whatever they want to say. And so that's all I got on that part. And it does talk about taking us in the land that he promised our forefathers. I found the scripture on that in Ezra the other day, but I didn't read it. Let's go on to what I was saying. So here it is, the Shatari person, young lady, Israel. They already know that we are talented, we are gifted. We got this wonderful skin, hair, or all the 9 yards. I don't need to go over everything. Everybody is aware of God's favor. Yeah, everybody's aware. So why is Israel, or why are people in an uproar about the fact that this nation shut her out? Well, all they did was look for one thing and they found it. And it wasn't, for us, a lot of times it isn't hard for us to, do something and to be found out. Like, we should know these things at this point. And I'm not trying to minimize anything or blow up anything. I know that the young lady that she lost her mom and that was her way of coping, and it's so sad that people didn't wrap around her in a way that she needed them to, so that she didn't have to resort to that. But I wasn't there. I'm not going to judge her on that. But what I'm coming here is looking at Israel and the people around us saying that everything is wrong. And why did they do that? And why can't she perform? And what about this person they let perform? But because this is their system, and they gonna do what they want to do. They gonna have their people where they want their people. They're gonna put the clown in the classroom. They're gonna put the dog in the street that can, spin on walk on a tightrope. They're gonna do all of the things that they want to do. That's gonna be absurd to us, and it's gonna be right to them. The Bible said in the last days they're gonna call right wrong and wrong right. And I don't know why we getting all bent up out of shape and in uproar when they don't allow us to fit in unless we do something wicked or we side with the wicked. We already know what's going on here. And to me, we should be grateful that she didn't get to run in that Olympics. Not that she didn't get to show off her gifts and talent, because she showed them. We already know that she's powerful running. But we should be grateful when they don't let us in that respect, that we're not a part of them sitting and watching us run like, oh goodness, I don't want to say this because I know somebody will be offended. Maybe we shouldn't be so upset. Maybe we should be grateful that they're not allowing us to fit into all of their stuff, their little arenas and their boxing matches and they swimming. They've been watching it. Come on, we know we qualified, absolutely. And they've been watching us compete as they make money up off of all of the gifts and talents that we have. We've been exploited for much too long. I'm not understanding why we still want to be a part. Basketball teams, you know who own them. We know who own the artists, the actresses, the songs, even the gospel singers. And yet we so bent out of shape the moment they embarrass one of us or shame somebody or oust them, there's a problem. But maybe this is the Father saying, I don't want you to be a part of that anymore. I'm calling my children out. Hallelujah. So I ask, what are we going to do now? And I'm just, for the sake of keeping people names private, received an email, and it said that people are coming to knock on the doors to find out about the poison or whatever. And my response to that is, you know, don't let strangers in. How about not even open the door? All right, I'm done with that. Okay, okay. Just because you knock don't mean I have to answer. And the day the day that folk want to kick a door down, then we just gotta we gotta deal. That's just it. That's all I got on that. You know how they say human beings desire to be a part of the world and having mistaught about kingdom citizenship and have been mistaught. All right, y'all go over to Miss Henrietta England's Facebook, um, her broadcast on Facebook, and you can hear about kingdom citizenship because I don't want to step out of my lane. I don't want to step out of my lane. I just don't believe that the Most High want us um, involved in the enemy's arena. I believe the Most High gave us gifts and talents so that we could build the. I use the word kingdom, and I don't his kingdom, and I don't believe we should be participating in Satan's kingdom any longer. We were there for a large amount of time, and the more we ran and the more we swam and boxed and dribbled that ball and tackled one another and hit each other with hockey sticks, we did it all. Even in with a golf club and a tennis racket, we excelled to the top of the game, and some kind of way something always seemed to happen. Hallelujah. Absolutely. Yep. I believe that wholeheartedly. And so we can look at these people like Jackie Joyner Kersey. What was that man's name? Arthur. I can't think of his name. The tennis player. It just amazes me as soon as we exceed or excel at the games that nobody thought we would be. Like it looked like they just came up with some stuff. All right, ping pong championship, and if we whoop tail in that, it was a problem. And then just these people just out of nowhere, it make you wonder, did they really suffer the things that people said they suffered? Give me a second. My phone getting ready to shut down. Isn't that something? Give me a second. Hold on. Okay. Now I had a full charge up until, and now it's getting ready to all uh, drop out. All right. Let me go through these quickly because I got to roll and go get somebody. All right. Okay. So you said, how about throwing a disc? What is that? Okay. And don't forget that jumping over a pole. And I don't have an issue with it because there's some bad brothers and sisters jumping over them poles, but it just looked like they came up with everything they could come up with. Like, okay, they too good at basketball, they too good at this. Let's give them a bat. Oh, they good at baseball too. Oh, let's come up with something else. You know, I don't know. Like you say, disc throwing and hopping over hurdles, and then when we won at that, now jump in the sand. And it's like, come on now, enough is enough. But nevertheless, we've been we've been going to the top and everything. I kind of laugh, humorously. Just I'm saying it humors me of all of the things, and we still come up winning. So now they got to come up with something else. Like, I caught you, you were smoking. I saw you, this this person all of a sudden falls sick. This one in stellar health all of a sudden just dropped dead. Come on, y'all. Enough is enough. Yep, I'm laughing too. So let's get on with this. Okay, family, we know that things are going to get worse. I remember asking for a Zoom call, and it was about 4 or 5 of y'all that showed up on here back in the day. And honestly, I want to commend you because the ones that showed up at that time, Miss Henrietta, I know you came after the fact, but these that showed up on they're still faithful to this day. And I just pray that the Father would bless you for your loyalty to the channel, well, to the word, not necessarily not the channel, but to the word. So I'm saying this because I feel like at some point we should be doing more. I feel like you all got so much word. We all got so much word that it's almost like we fat. We're so fat with the word, but where's the part where it says you're a hearer, but you also need to be a doer? And so, like, where do we stand with this? Where are we now? Because we're getting to the place that this world is becoming more wickeder. I've already said God's word will prevail. And I do believe that we are called to do something. We are called to come into action. Now, I don't believe that we are totally dependent on ourselves to take care of ourselves, but I do believe that the Most High is speaking to individuals. And I'm just gonna throw it out here. I didn't come on here to really talk much because I know I only have like I got to go pick up somebody, and it's just been a long day for me, but and I'm still not done. So let me ask you, as the times are getting darker, and this every evening, like I don't remember what time she get off. I mean, it's been the same time every day, and yet and still she'll call and say, I get off it, and I'm like, and then won't text and will just keep, and she knows that I scope. I promise you she does. And it's almost like the enemy just won't. Sure. Okay, wait a minute, y'all. Making sure she don't call back. All right. So property owners, let me share something with you all. Those that are listening to me, whether by way of apps, YouTube, Facebook, what else is here? Twitter. If you own property, and I'm not talking about like some apartment buildings or houses. I mean, kudos to you. That's not what I'm talking about. Let me tell y'all this, and I'm gonna come back to this. Today I took the back roads, and I mentioned this. The back roads are literally just about 5 streets over. I took the back roads, which is more of the scenic route. And y'all, I promise you, I saw people had homes like an acre, like some acres, a field. They had some horses, some cattle, some chickens. And then you drive, you said, what's that? The dove is cooing on the roof. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. But anyways, I'm sorry. Let me just share with y'all. So I'm seeing these people with these animals and farmland, and they done built a little bitty mother-in-law quarter for a kid that can't move out on their own or whoever it's for. This is the issue that I have. I'm trying to understand. They 5 streets over. None of them look like us. But then we come back over here 5 streets ahead, and thank you so much. And then 5 streets back, I'm noticing there's all of us. Okay, now she sends a message. Okay, y'all. Sorry. That's the interruptions from this girl. All right, y'all. So look, 5 streets coming back this way. It's us all in a row, a little bit space between each house. We can't have no chickens or nothing because we're in a residential area. But right over across the way, they kind of like slightly off the grid, just a little bit, 5 streets over. And I'm trying to figure out, how did they get that? How did you get that much land with a house, and you could put two more mother-in-law quarters and a well? I'm trying to understand, where did this stuff come from? So when we were buying houses, you mean to tell me, Miss, what they call that? Oh gosh, Miss Real Estate didn't take none of us over there to show us some things that we could have had. I'm just trying to understand, where did this come from? So I was talking about the fact that my dad, before his father passed, he showed them where he had land at in Louisiana. But because they was young, my mother and father, they didn't think that nothing they needed to, really know where the land was. And they are heirs, but they never claimed it because they don't remember where it was. And nobody will take the time to go back and find out. And down south, people didn't always change their names and all that kind of stuff. So it's a whole lot of stuff. And of course, because we know that there's some others that are living on the property, they not getting ready to help you. They probably put my father's name in real small print, or his dad's name in a paper called Western Nobody, and nobody even look at that paper. So nobody know that they were asking about this land. And so now they're not willing to look and go back through the names. And because my father's name wasn't the same as his dad's name, because back then people didn't go to court to change names if they had a kid out of wedlock or whatever. So now all this land is somewhere and somebody else is living on it. Hey, Cloud9. Blessings to you. So I'm here to ask you all, if you see what's happening, it's going to get to a point that they're not going to allow us to really have too much of anything unless you do what they want you to do. I'm wondering, at some point, when is everybody that know one another going to come together? You got certain people on certain channels that are trying to make certain things happen, and I get it. But I'm asking this, hey, Big Mac, what about if we did, if possibly, I don't know how many people would care to live off the grid, because I know the individuals feel like, I work so hard, I got this house, and the house we paying for, we got 15 to 30 years census with the bank. House about to fall apart. Every time you turn around, you got to add some, put a band-aid and stop a leak, and tape some stuff together and makeshift something. And we trying to keep these old houses up and running. And some of y'all might have did well with these houses, but what is the stress of trying to keep it? And are you one that's got to do certain things on your job and able to keep it so that you can keep this house? So in my mind, I'm like, why is nobody buying any, instead of going and buying another house, why isn't anybody buying any land? And then all of these what they call them, what do they call them things, storage tanks, and uh what do they call, storage containers, and little mini houses, and Who's afraid to live off the grid? You got to think about it. Nobody could force you really to do nothing for a good amount of time because you are not dependent on a system. You have your own chickens, you eat your own food, you grow your food, and your place is paid for. And the only thing you're paying is those taxes. And if a few people can't get together and do that, I don't know what else can. Even if some stuff got to be sold, because it's going to come to a place of bartering, a bartering system. And I didn't expect that I would have like the school teachers say. I knew I wouldn't have a whole bunch of hands go up at once. It's all right. It's just information for you to think about. Because right now, I don't believe that Israel, come on, I know it would be nice. And that's good. I don't believe Israel has really felt enough pain to want to get up out of here. I have a feeling that Israel still kind of like it here, still trying to make your way amongst your enemy. You want to be like Lot and still kind of pitch your tent close to Sodom and Gomorrah. You see just the turmoil and the darkness that is going on there. But it was something about Lot. Why, if he knew that kind of stuff was going on, he just like was right there at the gate, like right there where all kind of men was taking advantage of men, and I don't know why they didn't take advantage of him. I'm assume because of God's mercy and grace upon his life. How you gonna sit there and you hear men hollering in the street and kids and everything, knowing what they was doing, knowing what they was doing? Why? I have to ask, why are people still comfortable here? What you holding on to, a car? Let them change some laws and things, and you'll find out that you won't even be able to hold on to. And if you do, what good would it be if all of a sudden they say, you don't come to work tomorrow, none of you believers, whatever is said, what you gonna do then? What are people afraid of? Hard work. That's why I'm like, for all the people saying they run into Africa, you better ask somebody. If you one of them ones here that sleep to noon and you're lazy and you like to eat and you like them crab legs that you've been cracking and you and your friend going out for tossing back drinks. And I'm not saying they don't have a good time, but them folks work sun up to sundown. And don't, I know you used to your 40,000 and plus. Uh, Come on back home with $60 a month. You want to run over there? You better know what you're running over to. And y'all know you used to your feet all pretty from getting your pedicures, and you don't know that the roads over there is dirt, clay, dirt, whatever it is. You're not gonna find too many paved sidewalks and roads. I didn't see them. Lot and his family was living just like the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. I kind of thought they knew, but I didn't think they was really involved. I thought he kind of knew about it. But nevertheless, I'll go back and look at it because that would be something to see. So people running and listening to folks, and I like Africa, certain countries. There's some that they can they can shut the door for me because I ain't coming back through that. Not one way or another. That's right. Red dirt it is, just like the South. So your little toes that you so used to getting clipped and manicured, they'll be covered with red dirt. Your nice little shoes and all your cute stuff. Yeah, okay. When you got to put on your Jesus sandals and the Roman sandals so that you can walk without twisting your ankle or getting your foot ran over. And wait, I know you used to getting to the stop signs and everybody stop nice and neat and see who gonna go by first. Yeah, okay, you'll see. All right, absolutely. It's like the rural South. That's why I'm like, maybe that's why I can go because I'm from the rural South, but I ain't stay long. And at night, you talking about dark, okay? You talking about folks. Oh man, y'all talking about going over there. Okay. I know you used to your little washing machine and dryer. Now I ain't gonna say that don't nobody have it, but for the most part, folks was washing stuff out in some steel tubs and wringing them out and hanging them to dry. Wait, I know you used to all your good shampoos and stuff. Okay, yeah, right. You're gonna go over there and get you a bar of soap or some Palmolive or some of that dish soap that's like water, basically in color. I mean, our products are a little bit better here if you ask me. And I know when you want a snack and you want some cookies and stuff, now you're gonna get them biscuits, them little dried little European biscuits, and that's what you're gonna have. You buy some Oreos, you're gonna spend some good money for it. So all I'm saying to you, if you still used to certain things around here, you're not gonna make it, baby. It's hot in certain parts of Africa, really hot. I was in Ethiopia coming back and it was cold. Like you need a sweater on, a sweater a sweater in Ethiopia, and I don't know why that was, but it was cold in Ethiopia, chilly. And so then you go right over across. I didn't even think we was that far in Dar es Salaam, and I was baking. Then you go over to Zanzibar, and it's comfortable. Yeah, that climate change. They have different climates. So if you know you like it hot, you can map out your area. If you like it cool, then you map that out. All right, or not, or if you like just comfortable. Zanzibar was just comfortable. You could literally sleep outside. It was just comfortable. But them bats crying in the middle of the night, baby, it was too much for me because it sounded like somebody was being beat up or choked. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I ain't never heard this animal before. Nori, what is this? What do we need to do? And then they got them little bungalows out there with the little, little light doing some glass and a curtain up. I don't know what's happening out here, but I was hearing some noises of animals that I've never heard before. I'm serious. And these didn't sound like no coyotes or dogs. These sound like some animals that, you know, um, Adam hadn't named yet. So let's go on from that. Uh, all right. So let's go to the property owners. Property owners, I just think that at some point people need to be talking about buying like some flat land, like buying some see they messing with the reception, buying some land and putting some storage containers up and turn them into homes or mini homes or whatever you can do. I don't feel that if there should be anything here that you would even want to hold on to, because I'm telling you, when the plagues and this judgment is in full swing, you'll be ready to get up out of here. And that's why I don't think is that Israel is ready, because Israel is still sitting at the gate, like right up in Sodom and Gomorrah, comfortable. They see it. Oh man, dang, I can't believe them. Shucks, this don't make no sense. But you still comfortable. You still trying to compete. You still trying to eat the food here. You still trying to be entertained here. You still trying to live here. And the Bible already told us, yes, you're in the world, but you're not of it. And so he knows that we're here, but we shouldn't be dwelling like them. We shouldn't even be dwelling happy amongst them. We should be here doing what we got to do and getting ourselves straight so we be ready to go. That's just how I see it. And I mentioned yesterday how when you get ready to leave a job, you ain't still eating at the lunch table with everybody and talking and grinning and girl, yeah, and let's go out for drinks. I'm talking about when you strongly dislike that job, you are not still sitting with people trying to hang out. You totally separate yourself. You get quiet. You sit in your car, eat your lunch. They be like, "Hey, you girl, you all right? I'm good. I'm all right." All alone, you fed up. You didn't cut yourself off. You ready to go, and all you looking for is that one email or phone call to say, Can we meet? You be like, I'm coming over on my lunch hour, and don't let them offer you the job, honey. You would put uh, a time frame on that email and have it ready to be sent off while you driving down the street. Soon as you drive the street down the street, that email pop in your boss email box or her inbox saying something like, "Sorry, another message. That email gonna pop in her box like, as of today, or whom it may concern, as of today, at this moment is my last day, and thanks for nothing. You know what we do. So I'm saying to you, that's how it is when if you get it, you're here in this system, you will get to the point that you so fed up, all you can think of is, Father, when is deliverance? When you coming back? What you need me to do? Because I don't like this stuff right here. I can't get with. I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to hang with them. I ain't trying to agree with them. I don't want to be. No, I don't want to do this. Now I don't want to sit at the table with him with this wig on. No, I don't want to sit here with her with her pants and jeans hanging and her jersey on. I don't want to talk about this with you. I don't need to know your escapade. I don't care about none of this. I don't have a problem with you, sir, ma'am. I don't have a problem with you, ma'am, sir. I don't have a problem. I can't get with it. And it's just that simple. And I'm tired of people throwing them labels on me that you just fearful and you phobic and all that. Why? Why I gotta be that? I I I don't have a I like you. Or it would have been cool. But under these circumstances, it's not. Okay. That's it. All right. So that took me on out of that one. Property owners, you really should think about it. It would be nice for you to lease, okay? Lease the land out. $50 a person or so, just think that pays all the taxes. People till the ground, their land. They're responsible for their own home on that land with so much feet in it. And maybe you could measure out how much land they get to tell how much leasing they will pay. Of course, they are occupying more land. And so I'm gonna talk to my family about it. I was trying to see who all would be interested. Um, I just want to talk to them about it and see how people feel, if they would be open to some things, but I'm not going to share that here. I would maybe do a Zoom call or emails. Don't write it on the screen if that's something that people would be interested in, because I feel like the people who will live are the ones that don't need the hand of their enemy. If you need the hand of your enemy, like I'll share this with you all. I was buying food right at the first lockdown, just buying little stuff here and there. And I had got a nice grip, just like if something went down, stuff is cool. And it's back in the room that we don't use. It used to be my other daughter's room, and I have the stuff all stacked up back there. But I don't know what it was. I said, let me go back here and like make everything. Hi, hi, Kersey. And anybody watching by Facebook, I cannot see your comments, and nobody, I don't think anyone can. I'm not sure. So let me just say hi to Facebook, hello, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as Habs. All right. So I went back there and she had ate up most of the food. Like all of the dry stuff, the little dry TV dinners that you add a little water to and microwave. She had ate up everything, all of the little crackers and jars of peanut butter gone. So all while I was working, sister girl was back there having a feast. Nothing is back there, y'all, but condiments. So I told her that happy birthday. I'm hoping she enjoyed all the sardines and little dry tuna and everything that she was eating. Enjoy. Happy birthday. I'm not doing nothing. And that blows me away that she went back there and ate. And then she knows what the stuff was for, and then drank cases of water. I mean, I guess while I was at work, she was having a party all by herself or whatever. So needless to say, all that stuff had to be replaced. And I guess I'm gonna have to put a lock on the door. That's ridiculous in my own home. But and it also showed me that we can't go storing up stuff. Anything can happen. The Father is definitely teaching us or me to trust Him. All right, so let me go on this. Don't be afraid to leave Egypt. Don't be afraid to leave Egypt when the time comes, whether by boat, train, plane. I don't know how. Hey, scooter, motorbike. I don't know. That's what they ride in Africa. Them folks could be dressed up. She could have on Sunday's best, Saturday best, and jump on the back of a motorcycle and trust some man driving. And I told y'all they don't have the type of stoplights and order that we have on these streets. Honey, if they got to get somewhere, they going to drive up on the sidewalk, around some cars on the wrong side of the street. I don't know how anybody would get on a motorcycle and trust that type of process. I couldn't do it. But bless Africa because y'all got it going on in y'all own little way. I don't get it. The traffic is too much for me. I probably would not be driving. Um, and I don't have trust the Ubers either. All right. So don't be afraid to leave Egypt. When that time comes, I'm telling you, if you're holding on to material things that you paid for here, that would be a tragedy. Because if you read anything about executive orders and things like that, that material stuff they could take and they don't need any checks and balances. So get off of trying to hold on to those things. And I kind of believe that's what happened with Lot's wife when she turned around because maybe she just couldn't get past the fact that they were going over into the mountains or what have you. And she was leaving behind whatever she felt she had built. So don't be afraid. Start asking yourself those questions. Like I look at stuff now and I'm like, can I leave this house with everything in it? Yeah. I well, I could take my dogs if Big Mac can fit in the backpack. Suge, you just gonna have to walk it out. She can come, and I need my little blender. I know, right? Be prepared and ready. I would like my little blender and my little waffle iron. Those are my two staple things. But no, get you some good boots and shoot a Boy Scout book. We good to go. We should be. And anybody got Boy Scout books, hold on to them. Don't throw them away. Please don't. Girl Scout, Boy Scout, don't you throw that stuff away. You need that ready for God's hour. I know we are ready. I don't know. I'm gonna change that. I think we're getting ready. I don't know if Israel is quite ready to go. I feel like a few of us are. A percentage of us are, but I think some of us are still kind of hoping that we'll somehow fit in or we got some more time to kind of live it up or enjoy ourselves. And they're not hiding how much they hate us anymore. Before they kind of smiled in your face and was like, sure, let's see what clause 17 C34 says, and let me get somebody for you. They don't do that anymore. And that's like, I don't care what it say. I don't care who you know. I don't care what paperwork you have. I don't even care what has been written. Blatantly outward disrespect. And don't nobody care anymore. Yeah. Yeah. So I just think that it's out in the opening now. And so I don't think that people need to stop lying and like pretending that we still have some type of hope here. No. And so only thing I don't have a problem with Africa. I could do some work. I don't have a problem. The houses and things. I mean, you could find nice Airbnbs and stuff like that. And one thing I wanted to share, and I don't know if I said this, and I'm gonna move on. I got to do it quickly. Over in those places, I did notice that there were a lot of others, and what I mean by that, the Polish, the I saw some Orientals, a lot of Muslims, Europeans. They take their retirement money and they go over there and they buy land and they build an Airbnb on it and a little bitty restaurant and pay the native born people there little bitty wages to come and cook and clean all night. And they know that those people need those jobs. And it's a shame that right there on their continent, they don't really own anything. Very few. I'm not saying nobody does, but very few. And they have everything growing, aloe vera growing right there, fruits, vegetables, anything you could come up with, fish right there. And that these people come in and have the restaurants, the businesses. They might have a barbecue pit or stand or build something. And then they have the native born people come and cook and clean, and these people are enjoying themselves on a vacation spot and on a vacation spot and then making lazy income on top of it. meaning people come stay out of the states in the Airbnb. Airbnb is collecting the money for them, giving them they take the commission and give the portion to the owner, and that person, by however many people come stay, as often as they stay, they might have like about 10 units or more. Sometimes some people might have nothing but 4 units, and they still making money and living the dream right by the sea, and I've yet to ever see a storm. Yes, the people of God need to be open in his presence and be willing to worship and appreciate. Yeah, I mean, wherever his presence should be. Um, I know people think it's everywhere, but y'all can remember from the story I'm getting ready, the scripture I'm getting ready to read to you. That's not true. I know he's all knowing and everywhere, but there's some places that his spirit does not inhabit, and I'll show you. All right, so let's move on through this real quick. People with retirement, 401ks, pensions, IRA, insurance policies, all that stuff. I mean, you pray about it. But if you see the way the world is going, why are you still putting money in something for them to match you unless you doing it with the plans of knowing that you're going to collect from it quickly? There are people storing up like they getting ready to retire in the next 30, 40, 50, years. Do you honestly think that that kind of time is going to be here in Babylon? I mean, that's just me. That part is my opinion, but I'm saying to you, time 1K pension and IRAs, that these things are happening. Uh-oh. Okay, things are happening. Do you honestly think that those things will be there or that you'll be able to cash them in? It just makes sense to me that you cash them in while you can. All right, I'm gonna move on. Pray about it, but I don't feel you should leave that there because you're gonna find out. Like if you remember back in the day, people who live here, Bethlehem, still had closed or shut down or laid off a bunch of people or bought people out or whatever, and for them to keep their job, they had to come back and they had no pensions. So no pension. So I just think that we're going to see a lot of that. And they're not talking about the stock market. They haven't said anything about it in a while that I know of. I wonder if anybody knows what state it's in because I don't hear anything being talked about. All right. Next, skill set. And I'm moving quickly. The skill sets, we need to take a look at what it is that we're able to do, come up with some type of witty idea and invention, ask the most high what you need to do so that you can generate wealth in case somebody say, hey, you can't come back up in here unless you sign up for this. I'm so sorry. Unless you sign up for this right here. And so you need to be able to make some money and you should be generating something now just to see if you're able to do it. Get your hustle on in the correct way. All right. So let me see what else. That's right. And so what I was talking about was skill. What was this word I was writing? Oh, bartering and all of that stuff. Find out those things. Um, Nori, sweetheart, I'm getting ready to call you. I promise you. All right. So bartering, know what your skill sets are. And if you're a construction worker, it would be great for people with construction and stuff to teach others or be ready to come in and make some things happen. Come on. The grid. I mean, everything is happening. Everybody's calling. Okay, whether off the grid or construction workers or living over in one of the African nations. I mean, it would be great to have those skills, and that's why I could see why they don't want us to come together because we need each other. They are resourceful, and we have skills, and so those things coming together, skills and being resourceful, would make some powerful communities, and I just feel like we would be such a force to reckon with. All right. And then ask yourself, are you willing to live off the grid, rather off the grid here or off the grid in Africa? Meaning Africa to me would represent off the grid, like a wilderness. Because you're not familiar with that. You're not gonna have lights all the time. I mean, like my husband, they don't have lights all the time. There might be some times that they turn the lights off or the water or well not water for him. But I know when we were staying in the Airbnb in a particular place in one of the African countries, they was turning the water off. And then they would switch it and turn the lights off. And I don't know why these things were happening. And please don't nobody tell me, well, they was trying to conserve energy and water. Stop it. If that's what you believe, that's on you. All right. So last thing, remember I said keep up with Boy Scout and Girl Scout books. Don't lose that. Because if it's something that you could use and you could refer to, that would be great for you. All right. And so back to this real quick, and I gotta go. When I talked about people call it wealth transference, but to me, that's kind of sound like it was somebody else's and they gave it to us. No, this is restoration, restoring to me what was already ours, but somewhere along the way, we already know what happened, and other people claim what was ours. And now people are being asked to pay up, and the judgments are here for the simple fact that the things that happen, and we don't have to go into all of that. And that's the part people know they never want to address or talk about. And the Bible has already told us that, hey, my people call by my name. And so he's telling us to do something, and he's also talking to them. And they are supposed to know, they're supposed to see the grace and the mercy and the favor upon us. And these things are supposed to provoke them to turn from their ways too. And somewhere there's a disconnect happening. Hey, Big Mac and Sugar. Hey, sorry, y'all, a disconnect. And so nothing is worse is when people that have an inheritance don't even know that the inheritance is theirs, still living like, you somebody else's child. And that's the part where people haven't come into the knowledge of who they are, that maybe they haven't been born again, or they haven't come into the bloodline of Yahshua Christ Jesus. They don't know what their inheritance are. So that's why they still talking about Louis Vuitton purses and belts and red bottom shoes and garbage that the system came up with to keep people in a place of being chained in their mind. And that don't make any sense to me. And so when you should have owned every manufacturing company and then some, every nail tech shop, every home, all the land, everything should have been owned. Not that we needed that stuff, but I'm saying you over here living at the bottom with bottom feeder stuff that you eating off the bottom when that's not even what you're supposed to be digesting or ingesting. You're not supposed to mess with that kind of stuff. And see, when we still trying to fit in with that type of stuff to make a name for ourselves, I was looking at somebody saying, "Oh, I just got recognized by oh man, what was he talking about? Whatever it was." And then they probably watching from someplace else. Big Mac and Sugar. And my thing is this, we got to wonder why these things are coming the way they are. Not saying that you're not doing a good work, but again, when girl call me one more time, she gonna stand outside for 30 minutes for each folk. Oh, let me move on. So bottom feeder stuff. Why in the world am I going after the BMW, or I don't know. Let's scale down from that. Why am I going after some weave and some nails when you should be owning the whole shop or the manufacturing company? You going after the bottom stuff. They call it hood rich and all of this other little stuff that people come up with a name. And it's sad when you got people coming on, doing videos and got the little glitter around their face and they got on all the name brand stuff. And it's like a clown show. And you don't even understand who you are, but you down here with the poker stuff. And there's something that the back in the day when they would say the peons and the king would be riding through and the little peasants would be crying out, begging for something. That's what it kind of remind me of. And like we on the people on the bottom begging and asking and trying to, people are willing to kill and steal for this kind of stuff. And then, coming on, oh, I got this Coach bag or this, that, and other. And I know, because I did it too. But when we get to a place that the Most High start opening your eyes and taking the scales off, you like, that stuff don't even, that's nothing compared to what is due to us. What and it's all because of, it's not that you get anything unless you're a part heir. You are a joint heir. And so if you're not a joint heir and you're still in a confused state and you still the devil's child, then you're going to want his stuff. That's the heir to his people. That's the inheritance that he get in, the material stuff that measures up to nothing. That when you die, you can't even leave with it. But the inheritance that the Father gives is an eternal inheritance. It's stored up for you, your children, your children's children. It's generational, dimensional, multifaceted. Good Lord. Let's go. Okay, I gotta read this. I can't stay here. All right, y'all. I'm reading from Second Samuel, and I gotta just read it, and I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna read it, and then you're gonna know what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna be done. I gotta go. All right, Second Samuel 9, and I'm gonna start at 1, and just hear me. It says, and David said, is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness? Oh my gosh, this girl yeah, thank you. You might have to go read it for yourself. If she send me one more message. All right. Backdrop real quick. At that point, Saul and Jonathan had been killed in war, and David promised Jonathan, which was his good friend, that he would take care of his children. Oh, y'all don't hear where I'm going already? All right. And David said, is there any that is left in the house of Saul that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? And there was of the house of Saul a servant whose name was Ziba, I think a Ziba. And when they had called him unto David, the king said unto him, art thou Ziba? And he answered, thy servant is he. And the king said, is there, where am I? And there was, wait a minute. Okay, and the king said, is there not yet any of the house of Saul that I may show kindness of God unto him? And Ziba said unto me, Jonathan. Okay, thanks for still being here, y'all. Sorry. She gonna call, so I answer. Okay, I'm in 9 and 3, and the king said, is there yet any in the house of Saul that I may show kindness of God unto him? And Ziba said unto the king, Jonathan has yet another son, which is lame on his feet. Ooh, y'all, come on now. And the king said unto him, where is he? And Ziba said unto the king, behold, he is in the house of Misher. Okay, Misher or something, the son of Amir. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me for these names. Y'all know I'm Southern, and he's from Lodibar. Now, remember, I told you there are places that the Spirit of the Most High doesn't dwell, and Lodibar was one because it meant like a place where there was nothing living, void of God. I mean, Lodibar, and so it kind of make you wonder where we at. Hey, Stephanie Chosen. All right, let's go. Now when Mephibosheth. Okay, y'all know I'm Southern. I'll be looking at it and it sounds like it's gonna come out right, but it doesn't always do. All right, now when Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, was come unto David. Now, mind you, they went and got him, and he was lame. He fell on his face and did reverence. And David said, Mephibosheth, and he answered. He said, behold, thy servant. And David said unto him, fear not. Now, I wish I could say this to you, all Israel. David said unto him, for Jonathan thy father's sake, for whose sake? Thy father's sake, and will restore thee all the land of Saul thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually. And he bowed himself and said, what is thy servant, that thou should lookest upon such a dead dog as I am? Doesn't that tell you sometimes that, you know, we could look at ourselves a certain way? People could look at us a certain way, but let's go on. And he thought so low of himself, of a misfortune. Anybody that know the story, Saul and um, Saul and Jonathan were being ambushed, and the nurse grabbed Mephibosheth and tried to flee with the boy. I think he was like 5 or 3 or whatever, and dropped the baby and the boy, and he was lame all the way then. So, meaning what he went through was at the hands of somebody else. and it crippled him and impaired him for the rest of his life. But that didn't mean that he still wasn't the king's son. Oh goodness. All right, y'all. So praise the most high. It says, and then the king called unto Ziba, Saul's servant, and said unto him, I have given unto thy master's son all that pertaineth to his father and to all his house, or all that pertain to Saul and to all his house. 10. Thou therefore and thy sons and thy servants shall till the land for him. So now those very people that was doing what they wanted to do are now going to take care of him. And thou shalt bring in the fruits that thy master's son may have food to eat. But Mephibosheth, thy master's son, shall eat bread always at my table. Whose table? David, and David was the king at the time. So it's like saying that he will always eat bread at the king's table. What's the bread? The word. What we talked about yesterday. He prepares the table before me in the presence of thy enemies. A celebration, a festive occasion. It's time. So let's go. It said, now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. 11. Then said Ziba unto the king, according to all that my lord the king hath command his servant. He shall, so shall thy servant do. As for Mephibosheth, said the king, he shall eat at my table as one of the king's sons. 12. And Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah, and all that dwelt in the house. So not only did this apply to Mephibosheth, but also to his children, his children also ate at the table. And also Ziba was servants unto Mephibosheth. Everybody was a servant unto Mephibosheth. So he did eat continually at the king's table and was lame on both his feet. And I asked the father about that, lame on both of his feet. The father gave me that even with his imperfections, even when he was deemed the bottom, it was that he became, but he became the head. He was no more beneath, but it's like he was raised up. And so he went through a time where he was on the bottom, or in a place, in a cursed state, if you will. And I don't know if you can't hear what I'm hearing in the story, but it pretty much kind of sounds like the story that's getting ready to happen. Yep, to Israel. We were lame on our feet, couldn't get up. That we suffered, the curses or whatever. But now the king is calling that child, that son, to his inheritance. It is time to eat at the table, Israel. It is time, regardless of what you see. So don't get all bent out of shape about folks, that stuff you hearing about what's happening, what's coming, and all this, that, and the other. I say this when a bully says, I'm coming to your house to beat you up. You got two types of individuals, maybe three. One group is going to be fearful, hiding in the house, telling everybody, they said they're coming to beat me up. Yeah, the table is spread. Group that's gonna be like, come on by. You know where I live. I'll be waiting on you. And then you got the other group that's gonna go up in there, the very small group that's gonna be like, look, let me go in here and iron my clothes for tomorrow and cook me a pot pie or go roller skating or go play down the street with the other kids. Unbothered. So I don't know what group you fit in. I think I'm somewhere, with the kind of, if the Most High ain't showed you, I don't think nobody kicking indoors at this point in time. I just say, you got when the witnesses come to your door, the Avon lady, be like, sorry, nobody's home. She not home. Wrong number. Whatever you need to say. Other than that, let's keep it real and trust the Most High. Let's close. Father God, we just thank you for this great time together, a fellowship. I pray that I've said some things that I've said what you wanted me to say, and I've said things that would make other, that we would begin to think outside and think along the lines of your word and what it is that you want for your children. Watching over us, and we stand on Psalms 91. Father, and we thank you. Watch over your people. And I pray that wherever they're experiencing plagues, remember your sons and your daughters. Deliver us and them wherever they may be, because some people are in the area where the judgments are. And so that could very well be any of us. And so that's why if he tell you to come out of something, be ready to come out. God bless everybody, and y'all have a wonderful night. Bye bye.